I'm rooting for everybody black. I am betting on black tonight.
Lovely. You look great.
Welcome to Code Black Facts, where we talk about all things black to include news and viral videos, mental health, self love, self care, self development, black women issues, crime stories, and black history. If you are interested in any of these topics, please subscribe to my channel, like, share, and don't forget to comment below. Thank you.
They say it's a black thing, run deep in the roots. Blacker the berry, baby, the sweeter the juice.
Oh, hello, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in. So, I wanted to talk about the meaning of what it means to be pro black and why I don't really subscribe to that anymore. And I'm going to give you guys many reasons as to why and some background behind that. And I think that a lot of people get caught up in the whole, pro black, um, views and things and stuff like that. So let's go to some actual definitions that I found online. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Take this off here. Okay, so what does it mean to be pro-black? So I typed that into Google, and as you guys can see, hold on. All right, there we go. So I typed that into Google. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Yeah. All right, so as you guys can see, it says, what does it mean to be pro-black? The key characteristics of pro-blackness is that it deals with power. In fact, pro-black means not only directly dealing with power, but also building power for Black people. As such, it is perceived as a bold or daring statement that often triggers discomfort in white people. I think this is a pretty good definition, but what I come to find out on my own is that when we get to talking about being pro Black, I noticed that my definition and what it means to me can be different as it relates to the next person. Like, I've seen a lot of different conversations online in different, media spaces where, you have some people say, oh, well, can you be pro Black and sleep non Black? Some people say, well, can you be pro Black and still, be pro something that is completely opposite to being pro Black? And so, because of that, that's what really made me realize and understand that there are a lot of different perceptions of what it means to be pro Black for many different people. And I notice sometimes that when I, give my meaning and what it means to me, you'll have hundreds, if not thousands, of people that'll come in and they'll rip that apart because of their own, preconceived notions as to what pro Black means to them. I also noticed that depending on where you grow up, depending on, how you were raised and things of that nature, can also depend on your perception of being pro Black and what that means. I'm going to give you guys some good examples. As you guys can see this picture here, these are the Black Panthers, okay? And, historically, the Black Panthers were known as, being a group that was specifically for the needs of Black people as it related to, school meal programs, as it related to, policing communities, as it related to building power within the Black communities, education, training, and so many different things. But you did have a lot of people who were in the Black Panther Party who were with non-Black women, especially during the 60s and 70s, when you know, to be with a non-black woman could literally mean your death in many places in this country. But you still had people doing that. And fast forward till today's time, the same is going on. And this is not about interracial dating, marrying, or sexting. This has nothing to do with that. This has everything to do with, when we get to talking about being pro-black, I've even noticed now people don't even know what blackness looks like. They don't even know what it means. It's just, and this is why I no longer completely subscribe to being pro-black, because people's definition, people's, perception and the meaning for them could be completely different than what I have for myself and what it means to me. You have some people who believe in being pro-black and they believe in only being, with another black person. For example, black man, black woman, black children. Well, you get into black man, black woman, black children, then you'll have some people say, oh, well, I wasn't with a black man or a black woman. I was with a non-black man and a non-black child, woman, but we had children. So those children from that union are now black. And then to me, again, I got to disagree with that. Those would be mixed children to me. Okay. Now, why does all of this matters? It matters because in today's time, it's like, to be pro-black in many cases, to many people means to be pro-black man, to be pro-black woman, and these are separate, right? So if you're pro-black in some people's mind, that means that you're pro-black man. That anything that goes on with black men in this country because they quote unquote have it harder, that just automatically subscribes you to being pro-black man, separate from the woman. Others may say, oh, well, no, if you're pro-black, it means that you're pro-black woman, right? Because you are a woman. So that means that you're pro-black woman. And then, you have others that say, oh, well, you're pro-black man, you're pro-black woman. But because you are a man, you have to put the agenda of being a pro-black man above that of everybody else's. You flip that and you'll have women who'll say, oh, well, if you're pro-black women, then that means that because you are a black woman, then the things that affect black women get put above everything else. Then you have some people that say, oh, well, I'm pro-black family, right? And even that could vary, because being pro-black family, I would think, means that black man, black woman, black children. Well, you got a bunch of people that will argue with you and say, oh, well, yeah, I'm pro-black family, but I didn't marry or have children with the opposite sex that is black. They are a different ethnic group of people. And because I got with this woman and we had children, then the children are black. So technically it's pro-black family. And it's just, I can go on and on and on and on and on. And it's like, I just can't, I can no longer subscribe fully. And the reason why I say fully is because obviously, because I am a black woman, I do want to see black people, black women, black children, black men. I do want to see us, of course, come together. I do want to see us win. I do want to see us, love one another, protect one another, have, wealth and things of that nature within the black community. As a black woman, why wouldn't I want to see that? Because that's only going to affect me and the children after me. So of course I want to see that. But again, that means something different to everybody else. And it took me a while to realize that, because again, the background that I come from, my mother is black, my father is black, everybody in my family is black. There are maybe a few people who married or sex outside of their race and have created mixed race children. But for the most part, uh, everybody in my immediate family, we're all black men, black woman, black children. That's the background that I come from. That's the background that many of my friends come from. So growing up, that's what I saw. That's my perception. I also had parents who did grow up in the 60s and 70s. So again, they grew up during a time where, segregation. Me and my mom, we have conversations about how the town that she grew up in, how, on one side of town, it was all black people, black doctors, black dentists, black everything, because the white people didn't go to school where they went to school. And then when they decided to desegregate the schools, um, then you started to see something different. But then you started to see more racism, according to my mother, and we are from Texas. So again, depending on the different parts of the country, will also depend on a perception of what it means to be black, what it means to be pro-black, things of that nature. And I also noticed that a lot of people, like a lot of organizations, they'll come out for black people. Again, the civil rights is a major example of this, where, according to what I saw in my research and the things that I've read, the civil rights, they were, it was really black people. You didn't see, hundreds of thousands of non-black people, whether that be white people, Hispanic people, and so on, and Asian people. You did not see them in droves out there, getting ate up by dogs, getting the water hose put on them because they were with the black. You didn't see that. You saw sprinkles. And even if you look up some of the political newspapers back then, where they would they would go and do like different little what do you call it? Where they would ask, different people, like, should what do they think about racism, or what do they think about segregation? And you will find that the majority of non-black people, particularly at that particular time, white people, they were not for it. They were not. This is why they fought so hard against Malcolm X, against MLK. This is why. So when you put all of that into context, it makes you think like, okay, what does it mean to be pro-black? What does that mean to people? Let me change my screen back over, because I want to get a little bit more into this, and then we're going to go. I'm not going to be here long. Okay, so let's go to Pro-Black Urban Dictionary. Let's see what they have to say. Okay, so let me see if it's big enough. Okay, it says pro-black is a lifestyle that encourages the economic growth and development of the black people as a whole, with a purpose of increasing the wealth and population of black people around the world. Whether it is spending money with black-owned businesses in your communities or online, promoting love for black people and encouraging black youth is its sole purpose, to keep uplifting black people in America to be proud and in same time. Oh, proud in same time. Okay. It says, I bank with black bank owners. I buy groceries from black owned stores, and I only circulate my money from one black hand to another as another. I as okay, I'm sorry. I am as pro-black as I want to be. Pro-black revolutionaries and activists don't think it is okay to date outside of their race, but when you're in love with someone who cares what other people think. Okay, and this was, you guys, was written just so poorly. Yours should be you are, but I'm not going to do that to whoever wrote this. So that's what they have for pro-black. But again, when you start getting into like pro-black, then sometimes we get into like, so what is a black person? If you're mixed race, are you automatically black? And many black people still consider the one drop rule to be an actual thing. And of course, I am totally against that. I threw that rule away because it's just not true. You can't tell me that a mixed race woman and me and her have the same, experience walking around in the world. We may have parallel experience, which basically means yes, there are some things that we have, we experience the same. But again, my mother's black, my father's black. So my upbringing is completely different from a mixed race woman whose dad may be white and but mom is black, or whose mom may be uh white and dad is black. We are two is different. It's just this. You can't tell me that a white mother and a black mother are one and the same. They are not. On very basic things, yes, they may be. Every mother wants to protect their children. Every mother wants to love and nurture their children. Those are very basic things as it relates to children. But when it comes to family dynamics, when it comes to being raised in, certain environments, and having certain conversations about blackness and racism, it is not the same when you have a non-black parent, because they just don't live or know how it is to walk around this earth as a black person. They just don't. And you can't force that notion onto people. And that's just my own personal beliefs. But then even speaking that can cause people to get all up in their feelings, because again, when we talk about blackness, nobody wants to really say what blackness is, because they want to still hold on to that one drop rule, which is not true. It does not apply. It's old and outdated. And what's funny is that we can say that about so many different old and outdated things, but when it comes to that, we still want to hold on to that. We still want to hold on to that, because many of us still feel like as long as we are in the close proximity to whiteness, that somehow that within itself is going to make us better. Like we need whiteness to be better. And I just don't believe in that notion. And it's nothing against white people. White people are cool, whatever. Obviously the ones who are not racist or whatever like that. But the truth is the truth, and it is what it is. So on that note, you guys, that's all I had to say about this particular topic. What are your thoughts? What are you guys thinking? I know I couldn't go over every single thing. This video was actually not to break down every single thing. I did want to read an article really quickly. I'll show you guys, and I may come back to it. But there was this article that I found. Let me see. It was a Huffington Post. Yes, Huffington Post. And this was written back in 2016. And it was a lady, I'm assuming, who wrote the article, who talks about, her perception and, what pro-black meant, and like the different experiences and stuff like that. And I kind of skimmed over it. I didn't get to read it. If you guys want to, feel free. Just go to Google, type in what it means to be black, and you'll see this article from the Huffington Post pop up, and you can read it for yourself. But in this article, she basically talks about how, like, you have black people who say that they're pro-black, but then they will distance themselves from different groups of black people. So for example, you're pro-black, but you're only pro-black in certain circumstances. You're only pro-black when, you don't want to be considered ghetto or ratchet or loud, or, you don't want to be considered to be some of the things that, are stereotypically connected to black people. Or, like, for example, you have people who will lead with, I'm a black man, but I'm married to this white woman. And it's like, okay, you didn't have to add that part. You could have left that out. you know, like you have those types of, you know, Black people that are like, again, they're Black, but they have to lead with something that is non-Black. I'm Black, but I love to go skydiving. Because again, stereotypically, you know, Black people, we don't go skydiving or whatever. So they lead with stuff like that. And I've noticed that, you know, with Black people, some Black people where I'm Black, but I don't like to do Black things. I like to do, you know, these things over here. I'm Black, but I listen to country music. I'm Black, but see, you know, I live in an all white neighborhood. I'm Black, you know, and it's stuff like that. And I hear people do, and it's really cringy because you'll hear people. And so, anyways, in this article, she's talking about how people claim to be pro-Black, but they will distance themselves to different groups of different populations of Black people within the Black community. And that's, to be honest with you guys, that's neither here or there, because honestly, I think that, you know, if it's something that can negatively impact our image and can negatively impact, you know, you as a person, you absolutely should distance yourself from it, because everything that, you know, just because something is Black doesn't mean that you have to subscribe to it. So I am a definitely a supporter of the people who, you know, you want to distance yourself from certain things that could potentially cause harm to you, cause harm to your image, cause harm to your mental health, things like that. Because Lord knows, you know, yeah, I'm Black, but some of the stuff that goes on within Black community, I don't subscribe to. And I will distance myself from, depending on what those things are. And again, that's my own personal preference of things that I distance myself from, because it's just not me. It doesn't fit my personality. I wasn't, you know, raised in that type of environment or whatever. And so I think every Black person have the right to do that, because I'm not going to be a participant into something that I believe is hurting the Black community just because it's Black. I don't do that. I don't subscribe to that. But on that note, you guys, that's all I have. I hope you guys have a good day. And until next time, peace.
Say it's a Black thing, run deep in the roots. Blacker the berry, baby, the sweeter the juice. I'm trying to get lost, covered in all of your sauce. They say Black don't crack, well baby, you living proof. This for my beautiful Black queens, and I salute. Dedicate.